What's up, everybody? Give me a quick minute. I'm trying to get this all set up. Also, if you can't hear me, please somebody let me know. I would appreciate it. Got a lot I'm going to go through today. For this, a bunch of other people have been doing this. Really appreciate it. Especially any military members or anybody that society would consider an upworthy person. A lot of the time, heroin addicts don't have that much pull as far as convincing other people what to do about substances, and I guess that's pretty fair. You know what I mean? Damn, I'm actually like nervous for some reason. I usually don't get too nervous. Couple more minutes, folks, and I'll be ready. Jesus. Damn it. Sorry, folks. All right, that'll work. Everybody hear me, right? Give me some likes or something if you can hear me. I can't tell because I'm trying to use this microphone and sometimes it don't work, but since people are sticking around, I'm assuming we're all right. So I want to hit a bunch of different points. I wrote everything down in my handy dandy notebook. Highly recommend getting a handy dandy notebook. People, this thing changed my life. I've been carrying this around with me since I was shooting 2 grams of fucking heroin and 2 grams of cocaine every single day. Like you can see in the writing when I start withdrawing because my hand gets super shaky. It's crazy. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to take you guys basically through this whole mess because there's a whole lot that goes into this. So, we're going to go through my childhood, parents, rehabs, AA, NA, Stout Street Foundation, which if you don't know what that is, it's going to be a doozy. You know, the government, the DEA, the FDA. I'm also going to talk about psychedelia, weed, Kratom, this DUI that I got, and some training I went through while I was on heroin with a bunch of people in different societies like the Freemasons and the Brotherhood. You'd probably know it better as the Illuminati. I don't like to use that word though because fucking people freak out. But I was hanging out with these people, learning a lot of stuff about the world and money and vibration. And it plays into all of this. So I want to talk about all that too. You're watching this video right now because of Kratom. I found it a year ago, just 1 year ago. I'm 30 years old. Pretty much almost exactly a year ago. Literally like 1 week before the DEA scare and all that shit went down. And I had been a heroin addict for 10 years prior to that. So, and I live in Colorado, all right? We've been using weed here, CBDs and THC, to fix a lot of really severe ailments. So when somebody told me there was a fucking plant that the alkaloids in it attached to your opiate receptors, I was like, what the fuck did you just tell me? Like, I couldn't believe it. And then I went and tried it and I fucking cried because I instantly knew this was going to save everyone. Like, literally everyone. I got a lot of dead friends. Way too fucking many. 1 week later, the DEA is trying to label it a Schedule 1 fucking drug. Like LSD and marijuana. And I fucking lost my mind. It's so blatantly obvious what these people are doing. And I don't even understand it, man. Like, I don't understand how you can fucking make money that way. But again, once I take you back through this training I went through, you'll understand why I feel the way I do. Give me a sec, I just smoke. Excuse me. So, I grew up in an upper middle class white family in a really nice neighborhood in Aurora, Colorado, which, if you know Aurora, Colorado, it's not the best place here. Where I lived was really nice, but like Smoky Hill Road's kind of like the train tracks, and as soon as you start going north that way, it gets pretty rough. Even rougher now. It's fucking crazy in Aurora now. So, this I really, really want to make a point out of. I've spent a lot of time with addicts, a lot more than most people. I've seen a lot more of them. And I've never ever met an addict, and it doesn't matter to what substance or what bad behavior. It doesn't even have to be a substance. It could just be a negative behavior. It could be fucking food or caffeine or cigarettes, you AA fucks. So, damn, I just lost my place. The fuck was I talking about? Sorry, I blacked out, people. Maybe I shouldn't have taken that hit. Grew up in a nice white family, upper middle class, across the fucking street from bad place. What up, Brian? Oh, here's what I was talking about. So, of the hundreds and hundreds of addicts that I've dealt with in my life, I have never ever met an addict, a bad addict, that hadn't experienced some significant amount of mental and physical or physical trauma during their childhood. Not one. And that's where the empathy needs to come in with people like me and people like us. I know, right, dude? I'm feeling sexy as fuck right now, dude. I understand why people get fades. Although, if you ever had, like, a girl pull your hair, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty tight, too. Anyway, again, I've never, ever come across an addict, a really bad one, that didn't experience something really fucked up. And it could be anything from, like, being molested to being abused by your parents, uncles, getting into drugs early. It can even be, like, as small as, like, being shown porn too young, which is a fucking huge problem nowadays. But a lot, like, the stories that I've heard are fucking unbelievable, and the story I'm about to tell you is unbelievable too. And again, I really want to make a point of this, because addicts do not deserve sympathy. Honestly, I don't think anybody does, but everyone deserves empathy. All right? Especially if you want to fix this, you have to understand where these people are coming from. So for me, again, I had really good parents. I was very, very lucky. But when I was about 12 years old, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. She fought it for 4 years, went into remission, and about a year after that, my father was diagnosed with chronic lymphoma. He fought that, went into remission. I think I'm like 21 now, no, I'm 20 or some shit. My mother's cancer comes back as soon as my dad goes into remission. When breast cancer comes back, you don't have much time. My mom lasted about 9 months. I lost my mom when I was 21 years old. Keep going to school. I'm up in college at CU at this point. And this whole time, my father's being tested. Like, you have to go get your cell counts tested in your blood. You've been doing this for fucking, I don't know how long, like 5 years or something, maybe longer. And he's on his last test. And he takes the test, call him up. And they're like, hey, congrats, Mr. Pieper. You know, we didn't find any changes. Like, you should be set. We only have to do this like once every few years now, just to make sure you're fine. So he calls me and tells me, and it's like, oh man, finally, right? like, for the first time ever, I feel like we're gonna be okay. You fucking can't even, like, write this shit. But they called him back the day after that, and they were like, we don't know how to tell you this, but you got a completely different second type of cancer. And we're going to have to do chemo and radiation again. And this time it was in his throat, which, if you can imagine what radiation on your throat is like, it's not good. So, needless to say, I lost my mind. I didn't give a fuck at all about anything. Like, never ever been so angry. Which just derives from fear. Because what I'd been my whole life is scared. Because I knew, you know. Kids aren't dumb. So that shit fucked me up pretty bad. So I'm trying to figure out how to structure this in my head right now. So I start researching all this shit. Start researching cancer, start researching fucking medicines, start researching rehabs and fucking numbers, and like trying to figure out how the fuck to get out of this. I guess I didn't even take you through. So that was a trauma that I experienced. Now let me take you through my drug usage as a kid. Again, my trauma, like since I was 12 years old, I was looking at life like both my parents are probably going to be dead by the time I'm fucking like 30. And I'm 30 right now. My dad's still alive because he's a motherfucker. So he's good on that. Anyway, I smoked weed for the first time when I was 13 years old. And this is super important because this is the difference between my generation, we were the start of it, and then the ones coming after me, is I had fucking Google when I was like 7. Okay? So I'm 7 years old fact checking you, mom, alright? And all your Christian nonsense. And fact checking you, dad. And it's what all kids do. You can't fucking lie to your kids nowadays. They're too fucking smart. I promise you. Like, you have to be honest because they're going to figure out. If they have a cell phone or a computer at home, they have everything. Doesn't matter if you got some gay-ass fucking parental controls or some shit trying to stop them. Dude, we're smarter than you. I'm telling you. Like, we get around all that shit, and they're going to. It's really crazy nowadays. It's one of the reasons I don't have kids because I'm trying to figure out how to deal with this. So, like, I already know there's something fishy going on. Because I can tell weed's not a bad thing, and I can fucking tell that alcohol is a retarded thing, alright? And cigarettes are a retarded thing, and fucking refined sugar is a retarded thing, right? So, at 16, I started smoking, like, a pretty decent amount of pot. Fucking, I don't know why, but, like, the first time, like, because I smoked like once or twice when I was 13, stopped for 3 years, and then when I was 16, smoked again. And like I took that first hit, and I was like looking, I was like, I should probably start selling this shit. So became a pot dealer at a pretty young age. And then I met this kid who started telling me about ecstasy. And the only thing I had fucking heard about that shit was that it put holes in your brain, right? So he shows me this video called Ecstasy on the Rise, which I've fucking shown to I don't know how many people at this point. And it's a documentary about MDMA and how fucking beneficial it is. I'm watching this shit in like 2003, and it's 14 years later, and we're just now getting maps to get government-approved MDMA for PTSD, depression, and anxiety, which is fucking rad. Check out MAPS, M-A-P-S, for more info on that. Most people don't even know about this, but the success rate that they're having curing veterans who've been in heavy combat of PTSD is like at a rate of fucking like over 83% with just a couple doses, and they get off all the fucking bullshit poison pills that these fucking government Illuminati motherfuckers are hawking to all of us. Alright? So I see this video and I'm like, man, I can't fucking trust a word these assholes say. All right? And that's another fucking huge problem, is none of us can trust our own fucking government, and everybody knows it right now. It's fucking retarded. Like, it's so crazy. So I'm like, fuck all of them. You know, I'm just going to do my thing. And this is also, so I figured out from a very young age that drugs are drugs. Okay. If you put it in your body, doesn't matter how it gets there. Like, doesn't matter if it's food or chemical or air or whatever, it goes into your body and it does something to you and it makes you feel something, all right? We're going to remove all the words out of here. So you AA and NA fucks who trying to preach 100% sobriety when you're running around smoking cigarettes and drinking caffeine like there's no tomorrow can fucking shut up. I have a big problem with AA and NA. You guys kill a lot more people than you fucking help. And you know it. The first thing that they tell you when you walk in this place is that 99% of you fail if you try and work our program. They literally tell you that. Like, it's crazy that people still go to those fucking meetings and sit there and feel sorry for themselves. I'll fucking go more into that later. I think I was talking about MDMA. So, this is the point I'm making with that. I figure out that it's all just shit you put in your face, right? Get injured a bunch. Okay, I was a judo fighter throughout all my childhood. I lived at the Kodokan in Japan, trained there. I fought people from all over the world. Fought in a lot of tournaments, placed. It was pretty decent. So I got injured quite a bit fighting judo. And I remember the first time I got prescribed Percocet, I was probably fucking 13, right? 5 milligrams of fucking oxycodone fucks you up when you're 13. So I know right away, I'm like, damn, these pills make you feel good. Fast forward a little bit, I'm now like 17 or some shit, and I have to get my wisdom teeth pulled, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to give you some Percocet. I'm like, I remember from when I'm 13, I'm like, bet. So they give me that shit, start popping it, and here's the thing, is like, I didn't trust the government, but I never, ever, ever would have assumed that what a doctor was giving me was going to turn me into a fucking heroin addict and cause this entire epidemic that we're fucking dealing with right now. All right? Every single one of us has dead people at this fucking point. It's crazy. And it started because of fucking opioids. Listen to me. You do not just accidentally take heroin and then synthesize it into a pill and then call it medicine and then give it to a doctor to charge your insurance company shit tons of money for, and you get it for like $1. You want to talk about the best fucking hustle in the world. You also don't accidentally take fucking meth, turn it into a pill, call it medicine, give it to doctors to prescribe to kids. Fuck, like, please understand what the fuck I'm saying. I am a professional drug abuser and user, okay? I know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's the same shit. Half of our fucking kids are running around on meth, and the other half of them are fucking barred or pilled out of their minds on fucking painkillers or benzos, dude. Like, it's fucking insane. And they call it medicine. And like, people who are against plants will fucking dope their kids up with all kinds of different shit. It's fucking crazy. I fucking get mad about this, man. Never ever would have assumed that a doctor's gonna give me meth and fucking heroin, okay? I should have known better. So start popping a lot of pills. I get hooked super quick, like when I'm 18. And then you combine that with losing my mom and almost losing my dad fucking twice. And it's the perfect recipe to fucking turn somebody into a heroin addict. Okay? So now let me tell you what happens. Now, you either lose your insurance because you're too fucked up on pills, or they cut you off, or some fucking shit happens and you can't get pills from the doctor anymore. So you got to start buying them on the street, because all of a sudden when you stop taking them, Like, I remember the first time that I withdrew from fucking Oxycontin. I was a sophomore in college, and I flew to New Jersey. This was right before my mom died, actually. Flew to New Jersey because that's where she's from. Got a lot of family there. Didn't have pills anymore, right? And 2 days in, like, I start puking uncontrollably. Like, I have never felt worse in my life. I had no idea what was going on. I thought I was literally going to die. I was like, luckily one of my best friends was with me at the time. I'm like, dude, you need to call an ambulance. Like, I've never experienced anything like this, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. So, they take me to the hospital, right? They fucking, like, they think something's wrong with my stomach, because I don't say a word about all the pills I've been taking. And they're like, they won't let me eat, and they're fucking pumping me full of that radioactive shit that you could fucking, like, that makes you glow in the dark and all this stuff, trying to figure it out. And they make me stay there overnight because they can't figure anything out. And at night, my girlfriend at the time texts me fucking something from like WebMD, and it's about Percocet withdrawal. And she was like, Eric, this is what's happening to you right now. And like, this is how fucked up the pills were, because they had also just started me on fucking Lexapro, which fuck any of this shit. SSRIs, fuck them. Fuck benzos, fuck Adderall, fuck your psychiatrist, man. He's a drug dealer, and that's it. All right, that fool's pushing fucking meth and like death pills and getting rich off your bitch asses, and mine too. It's fucking crazy. Fuck, I lose my place again. This shit gets me fucking going, dude. I had to not take a microdose this time so I could make sure I hit everything. Give me a second. So, they got me all fucked up on this Lexapro shit. And what pills, like what fucking opiates do is they completely mask your ability to be rational at all. It fucking changes you completely, and anybody who's seen it knows this. All right, it turns you into. It makes it really easy to feel sorry for yourself, AA people. All right, it makes it really easy to just sit around and cry and do nothing with other sad people, AA people. Okay, it's called a central nervous system depressant. It depresses you. And that's all it does. And the doctors give depressants to treat depression. Like, they fucking tell you in the commercials, and we're all still taking this shit. Jesus Christ. So I'm like, there's no way. It's these pills. They make me feel too good. They make me feel numb to the fact that my mom's dying, which I need right now because I'm trying to graduate college. And like, I don't have time to be sick, and I don't have time to fail classes. Like, I have to be able to do this. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I don't know where I'm going to take this now again. So at some point, I call up my dad, and I was like, because like, fast forward like a year later, after my mom passed away, and after like another trip to the hospital for withdrawals, and I'm like, may cause homicide. Yeah, exactly, dude. It's crazy. They're like, your Lexapro may cause you to kill yourself, or 45 children in a school, like every other fucking mass shooting. It's crazy. My brain's like overloading right now. So I call my dad up, and I'm like, Dad, I got a fucking problem. Like, I need help. Really bad. I don't know what to do. I'm fucking terrified. Like, I need some help. So, both of us start Googling what to fucking do about it. And it turns out that it's basically impossible to go to a program where they don't pump you full of this AA and NA bullshit. And let me explain to you very simply why it doesn't work, which is the first thing they tell you. You walk in, you're an 18-year-old kid, you're scared as fuck, you don't know anything because you're an 18-year-old kid, right? This guy, whoever it is, who probably gets paid $14 an hour, you know what I'm saying? Who's probably sat around feeling sorry for himself in these AA or NA groups, you give an immense amount of power to, because you're relying on this dude to save your life. Just like you were relying on the other doctors to help you that got you in this fucking situation in the first place. Right? So, you go to this person who has an infinite amount of power over you and your young mind, and they're like, listen, man, you're diseased. 99% of you that come to us are fucked. Our success rate is less than 1%. We've been doing numbers, and we've known this since the program started in like the fucking 1920s. The good news is you're special, and it's not your fault because you got a disease. Go. Who the fuck is gonna get better from that? We're like computers, okay? You only pick up a program if you see it by watching somebody else perform it, or if you hear it through language, which is called a neurolinguistic program, okay? Read the book Psycho-Cybernetics if you don't believe I know what I'm talking about. Every technology that we build is all based off of us and how we process things. That's why eventually it's going to take over us, okay? So, oh, fuck, I blacked out again. I'm sorry this happens. What the fuck was I talking about? Yeah, Kratom is a miracle plant, Jesse. What? Seriously, somebody help me out. What was I just talking about? I fucking totally forgot. Like, seriously, drawing a straight up blank. Oh, I'm talking about how shitty... Okay, we're fucking computers. That's what we are. So that's the program that they input in. So I got a computer that's a drug addict. I need to fix him. I'm going to input the program. I'm a professional. I don't know what I'm doing. I fail 99% of the time or more. But you're special because it's not your fault. So sit here and feel sorry for us. Oh, and you can't control yourself because of this imaginary disease that you got. So go. That's what they fucking tell you. And they wonder why people don't, like, it's fucked up. So what AA is and what NA is fucking, it's a setup to make it so that you can only buy your fucking drugs from the doctor. Because what these assholes tell you is they're like, listen, you can't do any mind-altering substances except for fucking nicotine and caffeine. You know what I'm saying? Sugar too. But everything else is off the table unless some other human being who makes money off of you doing this tells you it's okay, because then it's not drugs, it's medicine. We fucking retarded or what, bro? Like, all you motherfuckers are crazy. Every single one of you. I walked in there, and this motherfucker's telling me that. I remember when he told me, he looked me in my fucking face and told me that, dude, step one, you're powerless. I was like, bitch, what the fuck did you just say to me? Like, I'm not powerless, I'm just fucking in trouble right now. Like, you can't fucking program kids that they're powerless. Alright? I had 100% of the power in this situation. All I had to do was fucking stop. That's it. They fucking draw it out and make it into some fucking huge thing like, oh, these people are diseased and you need to feel sorry for them. You don't need to fucking feel sorry for them. All you need to do is understand why this happened to me and why it happens to people like me and how to fucking deal with it, which is tough, man, because dealing with addicts is a super thin line. I deal with it every day. Fuck every single one of you AA and NA motherfuckers, man. You guys are killing people. Every single one of the rehabs in this country that's promoting this shit and pumping that program into people, you're fucking killing people. And you're making money selling your fucking doctor's drugs doing it, okay? It's fucking criminal. Stop it. Stop putting your kids on drugs. And again, let me tell you where I got I mean, all you have to do is fucking Google it, look at the chemical signatures of the drugs, and you can tell they're exactly the same. Or I can show you somebody nodding out on heroin and somebody nodding out on Oxycontin and show you it's exactly the same. Or I can show you fucking Tweaker and somebody on Adderall and show you it's exactly the same. It's the fucking same. Okay? This is the greatest hustle of the century, and also the greatest fucking tragedy that has ever fucking happened to kids. We are straight up stealing our fucking children's childhoods away from them. Like, the people that I have to talk to have been on psychotropic drugs since they were fucking 2 to 5 years old. And not just one, multiples. They have these kids on SSRIs, on fucking benzos, on amphetamines, on antipsychotics, and it's fucking sick, dude. It gets me emotional because I gotta deal with how much pain these people are in. Alright? And try and fucking get them through. And I know what the fuck it's like. It's crazy. We have to stop doing this. Like, we really do. And I don't want to trash AA all the way because there's a lot of good stuff in there. But this is what you need to fucking change. All right? And then your program would be solid. It would be really good. First off, we're going to erase the 99% of us fail because we're going to fucking completely change these couple programs. So fuck that sentence. Stop telling people that as soon as they get there. All right? We don't want to lie to them either, but there's a better fucking way to do this. Number 2, they are not diseased, okay? My fucking mom died of a disease. I know what a disease looks like, okay? My dad had 2. He suffered through them both. I watched. I know what the fuck a disease looks like, all right? I was just scared and mad and full of hate and didn't know how to deal with it and then got hooked on a drug. And that's what happens because of how powerful this shit is. If addiction was a disease, 80% of people or 90% that take fucking opiates for over a month wouldn't turn into addicts, okay? Also, if what they were fucking talking about is true, I wouldn't be able to sit here and smoke weed and fucking take LSD and Molly a couple times a year and all the other things that I do, Kratom, without needles flying into my arms. And I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, which brings me to the next program. Stop fucking telling kids they can't control themselves. That's retarded. That's like the biggest out ever for a drug addict. They're like, oh shit, you mean I could just fucking tell these people it's not my fault because I'm sick? Sweet. Like that's what goes through somebody who's on fucking opiates or meth head when they fucking hear that shit. Alright? You're not special. You need to fucking quit being a dick to everyone around you, especially the people you love. Alright? Probably gonna need to go get clean somewhere, depends on how long, with how sick you are. And then you just need to buck the fuck up and control yourself, which is possible. There's positive substances and there's negative substances, and it's very, very simple to tell which ones are which. Okay? Very, very fucking simple. So I'm studying money and, like I said, the world with these Freemasons and fucking Brotherhood motherfuckers and all kinds of other people. All right? And this billionaire straight up tells all of us, he's like, listen, none of us take any chemical medication that they got in the supermarket. We definitely don't take any of the fucking shit that the doctor prescribes you. It's a hustle. Okay? This dude ended up leaving these societies because this is what I got told, was because the government or whoever these motherfuckers were given $10,000 stipends to schools for every single kid that got prescribed to Adderall. And I want you to think about this, because back when I was a kid, there's maybe 1 or 2 kids in class that were on Adderall, and fucking none of us could associate with that kid. That kid was fucked up. Like, he was different than the rest of us normal, sober kids. I remember this specifically. And now, all fucking kids, like, so many kids are hopped up on this shit. It's a hustle, I promise you. Just do the fucking research. So, again, I run out of fucking options, and I can't pay for the Oxycontin anymore. Can't get it from a doctor anymore, and I can't be sick. I have to fucking finish school. I have to be able to go do shit with my family, because my mom just passed away. Like, I have to be able to do stuff. I cannot be sick. And that's the problem with most people, is you don't have the time to be sick for a month. Then somebody brings something over to my house and they're like, oh, like, you're sick from that? This will get you well. And I'm like, what is it? And it was brown, and they called it opium at first. And they're like, oh, you can smoke it. And I was like, huh, you can smoke it? Like, I didn't know that you could smoke heroin. I thought you had to shoot it up. Like, so I take a couple rips of this shit, instantly feel better. It's 1/8 of the price of fucking Oxycontin. I can go to school, I can take tests, I can do whatever. And now I'm a fucking heroin addict. Because it's not a big deal. You're like, oh, it literally feels exactly the same as the doctor's pills. Exactly the same. All right? It didn't, like, a couple rips, no big deal, no needles, no nothing. 1/8 the price. I'm not spending $80 a pill now. I'm spending $10. Like, okay. When I was in rehab, the second time, for fucking 8.5 months, which that story is a doozy in of itself. By the way, follow my page, Kratom King, the Eric Pieper Show. I'm doing a series of episodes. I always fucking do shit. I'm always talking to people. Anybody who wants to be on my show who's got a good Kratom story, hit me up. But I'm doing a series of episodes about this rehab program that I went to, which is was a multi-million-dollar therapeutic community, confrontation therapy and behavior modification, cult drug rehab that I ended up having to fucking escape from. Yeah, chew on that for a minute. All right. So now I'm really fucked. I call my dad, tell him that I'm fucked. He puts me in a rehab, and I get told that AA and A bullshit. My dad gets told the same thing. Me and my dad look at each other and we're like, how the fuck is this supposed to work? You know what I'm saying? Like, how the fuck is this supposed to work? You ever had a motherfucker tell you that your higher power could be a doorknob? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Go fuck yourself. Every single one of you who's ever told anybody that your higher power can be a doorknob, go fuck yourself. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Somebody told me that in this rehab. I've been told that in every single fucking AA meeting, because I don't necessarily believe in the Christian God, which is what it's based off of. Oh, that's the other thing too, is like, so for 100% of these programs, you have to believe in the Christian God unless you believe in, like, the doorknob or whatever is your fucking higher power. It's dumb as fuck. So, like, I'm getting pumped full of this programming, and I don't want this programming in me. I know how dangerous this is, and it's especially dangerous when you're amongst a group of people, some of whom you like and respect, and they're all telling you the same shit. Okay, this is how Stockholm Syndrome and brainwashing and influence works. We're very, very susceptible to groups of fucking people, okay? So, I'm there for a week. They keep on telling me this fucking nonsense. Like, I met with my counselor maybe for 15 minutes, and the rest of the time I was there, and I was like, I'm not going to stay. It was like a 2-week program. Like, I'm not going to fucking pay an extra 2 G's to sit around here for a week. I'm just going to go home. So, my dad comes and gets me. We move all my shit from Boulder back down to Aurora, where I'm from. And then I start working, get a job, and, like, everything goes okay for a little bit. This was in between when my mom passed away and when my dad's second bout hit. So, when my father's second bout of cancer hit, I fucking lose my mind, start back on pills, start fucking up real bad. Again, I was so mad. I'm still fucking mad, you know, but back then I was so mad. So, I start smoking heroin again. Shit goes downhill super fast, man. You know, like, because of how much trauma I had experienced and how much pain I had in me, I really didn't care about, like, anything. I was a fucking maniac. Like, yeah, you don't understand. I've been in so many fucking situations that you wouldn't believe. I've been fucking stabbed before. Like, big ass scar right there. Wrecked probably 6 cars. Wrecked a motorcycle going 90 miles an hour. Too many of my best friends are dead. Like, way too many. And, like, over 10 people that I was at this rehab with are dead at this point. It's fucking crazy. And, like, I gotta hear about it every day. And it fucks me up because I'm tired of this. And I know that we got something here in Kratom that's literally going to save everyone. Same with THC. Same with psychedelia. Yeah, you fucking said that shit in front of my dad, too. I was like, oh, fuck. How am I about to, like, weasel my way out of this one, Crystal? Jesus Christ. So, like, at some point, I get a DUI. Oh, so by the way, also, I'm well educated, I guess. Like, I went to college at CU Boulder. I got a degree in business management, which I don't think means much anything besides I was able to put up with a lot of nonsense and show up, which is 99% of life, dude. Just fucking show up. It ain't that hard. You know what I'm saying? So I always had good corporate jobs making decent money, and I was in sales, and I like to hustle, so, you know, I was always doing all right. I was always able to buy hundreds of dollars of heroin every single day. So, at some point I get this DUI, and, like, the way that I get it, I'm fucking on a 10 a.m. break from work, smoking heroin, driving down the fucking road, the highway, on I-25 by Lincoln. And, a cop pulls up right next to me because I guess I swerved a little bit, and he fucking stares me in the face while I got the shit up to my mouth like this, and I'm, like, looking at him. I could have reached out my window and touched this guy. Right? I probably should have gone to prison that day for, like, at least 4 years. Got myself out of it. Still wound up with a DUI, which I fucking definitely deserved. Not condoning my behavior at all. I'm just telling you what the fuck it is. So I wind up with this DUI. I don't give a fuck about probation. At the beginning, I tried to. And this is important too, because as soon as I stopped smoking weed because of probation, like, my opiate addiction got way worse. And it's like, well, how could you still be on opiates? Real fucking easy. I can go to the doctor and he can be like, okay, this piece of paper says it's not drugs anymore. It's now medicine. You just have to pay us a lot of money for it. And here you go. So, like, I, like, weasel my way to, like, make it so that I'm allowed to fill for opiates for fucking my probation. They think I'm on DUI for, I don't know what, like, weed or something. Which was a mess. So then I really stopped caring about fucking probation. Like, 100%. Again, it was right when I stopped smoking weed. Stopped giving a fuck. Stopped going. Like, 6 months down the road, my probation has been extended, like, 6 months at this time. I only had to do it for 6 months, so now it's at a year. And then I just started smoking weed again, because I'm like, you know what, I don't give a fuck. And I'm super fucked off. And at this, it's important to back up here, because I smoked heroin for about 8 years. Never, ever, ever considered shooting it up, ever. Just always seemed like it just seemed like death to me. I didn't understand why people did it. And then all this shit happens, and I get to this point where I legitimately didn't care if I fucking died anymore. So, I was with some kid, and I shot up for the first time, and I never really got the fucking rush that people talk about at all until I started shooting up coke and heroin at the same time. Shooting up fucking coke is insanity. It's like a completely different drug than snorting it. Like, I got the rush from that for sure. And, like, as soon as I started doing that, shit went downhill so fucking fast, it was crazy. It got to the point where, like, on a heavy day, I was shooting up 2 grams of coke and 2 grams of heroin every day. like literally trying to die. Wasn't willing to put a gun to my head, but like I figured if I could OD, it'd be all right. You know what I'm saying? I start smoking pot, and the first thing I noticed is that when I smoked pot, I wouldn't shoot up at all. Like the weed was like, what the fuck type of idea is this, bro? How did we even get here? Like it completely changed my thought process. All right? This is so important. It forced me to take a look at myself and take a look at what had happened, what I'd become, and where I was. And like I was literally on death's doorstep. I had just gotten out of the hospital to get an abscess cut out. I was there for a week, I think, on vancomycin, fighting contracting MRSA. I think with like a 60% chance of death. I get out, still smoking weed, and I'm like, I woke up one morning and I was like, I'm gonna fucking die, and I don't want to die. Like I thought I did, but I don't. So I called up my probation officer, and I was like, Sunshine, I'm gonna die. I need you to take me away from myself, like however we got to do it. So I'm like, I would prefer to go to a long-term rehab. I want it to be at least 6 months. Like 1 month is definitely not enough at all. 3 months I don't think would have been long enough for me at the time. I want a 6-month program. I was like, if not, I'm not in one in a week. Put me in jail. Like, here's everything that I've done wrong as far as violating probation. Like, make this fucking happen. So I go sign papers with my dad. They set me up at the Salvation Army, and God damn it, I go there. Doesn't work out. I wind up at this place called Stout Street, which is the confrontation therapy and behavior modification rehab. I'm not going to go into that right now because I'm doing a whole fucking series about it on my page, which follow my page if you want to fucking hear about it. It's crazy. Like, you don't understand what happened at this place. Again, over 10 people are dead that I was there with. The vast majority of these programs have been shut down all across the country because they used to send children to them, but the minors were committing suicide after leaving these places at such a high rate that they had to shut them down. That's a fact. You can fucking YouTube CEDU, CEDU, and there's a documentary about this type of therapy, behavior modification and confrontation therapy. Like you would not believe what's going on at this place. Like, they shave your head bald when you get there. It's kind of like the military, but it's a place full of 140 drug addicts. Like people get in fucking fights. You're there with murderers and rapists. The counselors are fucking raping the patients. Fucking follow my page and I'll tell you the stories. I had to escape from this place. So I get out. I was there for 8.5 months. Stone cold sober the whole time. Right? I get out. I stay sober for another 6 months. Go back to my same life that I had, working for some soulless corporation, fucking doing some shit that I absolutely hated. And I did something that was completely against, completely against my better judgment, and I 100% knew better because of what I told you about prescriptions. So I start taking Xanax again, another central nervous system depressant, and then immediately this is why alcohol, like, depressants warp your fucking inhibitions so much. I barely fuck with alcohol at all. I don't fuck with fucking pills at all. Don't fuck with H at all. Except for like the couple of minor relapses that I've had, which is just like one day things. Since then, I've been good for a long time though. So I get out of this place, start taking the Xanax, immediately lowers all my inhibitions, and I go get high on heroin again. And like, this is what's different about addicts is like once you've been an addict, it is very, very, very easy to revert back to addict mode. Like, it's like a light switch. And that's where addicts have to be real careful. Like weed doesn't do it to me. Kratom doesn't do it to me. Psychedelia doesn't do it to me at all. But all central nervous system depressants will lower my inhibitions and make me want to use. And sometimes I end up doing it. That's what I've noticed in these past. So I relapse for like a solid 2 weeks. It's really bad. I'm like, I have to stop this immediately. I left the state for 2 weeks, come back clean. And this is how I found out about Kratom. And this is crazy. Okay. Some of the girls I was at the program with, the confrontation therapy rehab, fucking got in trouble for going to this bar downtown called Kava Sutra. I'm like, well, what the fuck is kava and whatever they drank called Kratom, right? Because what had happened is somebody ratted these girls out, because that's what you do at this place. You fucking rat each other out if you're a bitch. And they had to go back and serve the largest consequence, which is called a 1030. And what that means is you have to sit in fucking timeout for 10 hours straight, in addition to any other hours you may have accrued. So you could be sitting in timeout up to 20 hours in one day. That's the longest I've ever heard somebody sit. This girl that I actually dated. She's fucking badass. 20 hours in timeout is insanity. Okay. I'll go more into that in the other series. So that's the 10. And then the 30 part is you have to do what's called work contract, like the military, where they show you in the military, like just digging holes and filling them back up or scrubbing the floor with a toothbrush. So for 30 fucking days, you have to work 13 hours a day from 6:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. You have to wear hospital scrubs over long pants with a belt and a little red name tag with your shirt tucked in. And fucking these hospital scrubs over pants make your ass look fucking huge. It's ridiculous. And a little red name tag to like signify your fucking retardation. And you have to work 13 hours a day for that 30 days, and you're not allowed to talk to anybody, and nobody's allowed to talk to you. Otherwise, it gets extended by a 5 and 2. Okay? So, you're just like a fucking zombie. I would literally go dig holes outside like 13 hours a day and fill it back up so I could at least be outside and get some exercise. Because they limit the amount of food you can eat, and they also limit that you can't exercise. You can't do anything to try and make yourself happy. Like, you just have to be miserable. It's fucked up. The longest I did that for was 2.5 months straight. And then I had another month stint, and then another month stint. So I was on a badge for over half the time that I was there. Because I didn't give a fuck. Fuck your bitch ass rules and your programming. South Street. You really should listen. Like, follow this page and check out these episodes I'm going to do. Because it's not all bad. I learned a lot from that place too. And again, a lot like AA and NA, if they changed like those 3 really simple programs to change. And a couple other things, because they do some other really fucked up shit at that place to invoke the Stockholm Syndrome in you. But again, if they changed a couple things, that program would fucking save a lot of lives. Like, it really would. And I know they're fucking watching this. So pay the fuck attention, guys. I'm better at this than you. Like, I promise you. We've got this figured out, especially with Kratom. You know, another thing that they'll preach the same thing. If the doctor gives you the drugs, it's now medicine, and then you can be. It doesn't fucking make sense, all right? So they're like, I was like, what the fuck is Kratom? Like, it must be good if Stout Street's telling you it's bad, right? And they're like, oh, it's a plant. It's just a ground up leaf, and the alkaloids in the plant stimulate and affect your serotonin, dopamine, and opiate and adrenal receptors. And I said, what the fuck did you just say to me? Like, are you kidding me? It gets me emotional, because fuck, man. So many people I know are dead. They didn't have to be. Like, this whole thing could be avoided if they gave people fucking Kratom at the doctor's office and at rehabs instead of fucking Oxycontin. It's crazy. So I go try it, and I'm like, wow, this feels like Percocet if it was a plant that wouldn't kill you. And that's how I describe it to people. So, like, exactly 1 week later, the fucking DEA is trying to make it an emergency Schedule 1, and I fucking lose my mind. And I start this podcast show that you're watching right now, and I wind up being a fucking Kratom supplier with some of the fucking best, and I have tested my shit before, Kratom you've ever seen. If you want any, shoot me a message on this page, I'll get you some. It's fucking good. And fucking a life mission. And like, for like the first time ever, knowing that I was going to be okay, and like knowing that I was going to be able to help a lot of people, and knowing that I was going to be able to make up for a lot of the wrong that I've done. You know, like, I know this is why I was put on the planet, and why I've experienced everything that I've had, all the fucking fucked up shit that I've been through, losing my mom and everything, you know. So I can sit here and tell you that you don't have a fucking excuse. I didn't either. Like, we gotta stop giving people excuses. You know what I mean? It's okay to be sad. Like, that's the logical conclusion to end up at if you lose a parent. Like, you should be sad for a while. You shouldn't get thrown on pills that completely fuck up your life when you're a kid. Like, we shouldn't be doing this to our kids. We've created a bunch of little drug addicts. All of us know how many milligrams are in what, and what the chemical signature is, and what it does to you. Like, our parents don't know that shit at all. They don't even know how much fucking, like, what the percentage of, like, normal alcohol is versus, like, a sugar liquor. It's crazy. They didn't even consider it. But we've been programmed our whole lives to take this shit, and, like, you find out real quick when you're in middle school that Adderall's worth money. And pain pills are worth money. Like, kids aren't fucking stupid. We've literally just bred this fucked up system that's like just murdering a ton of our people. And it drives me fucking nuts. And then we gotta deal with the fucking DEA and the FDA trying to take this shit away from us. Because they fucking make money killing people with pharmaceuticals. And people wonder why the fuck I got a hard time being here sometimes. Oh. Yeah, man, this fucking place makes me mad. So I finally decided to do something about it. So again, please share this video, man. Like, I got a powerful story. I'm not gonna bullshit anybody. And I can help you if you fucking got a problem. Like, if your kid's got a problem, I can help them. If they're willing to fucking take accountability for themselves and go do what it takes to get better. Like, I'm not going to feed them a bunch of nonsense. I'm not going to tell them they're broke. You know, I'm not going to tell them that they can only do drugs the doctors give them. Like, I'm going to fucking give them some plant leaves and completely change their lives. Like, this plant has completely changed my life. So again, guys, thank you everybody that's watching this. I really appreciate it. This is a fucking gnarly experience for me. It was my mom's birthday 3 days ago. And I really miss her. And I know she didn't have to die either. You know what I mean? We've been studying CBDs. The government's been studying CBDs. Soursop, Kratom, which actually produces a fruit, which 90% of people don't even know who take Kratom. It produces a fruit that's anti-carcinogenic. Like, they're fucking murdering us. Alright? They have this set up perfectly. And all of us are starting to see it now. I got too many dead people not to do anything. So I'm going to keep making these videos. I'm going to keep selling Kratom. Like, I'm going to keep fucking pulling people off government drugs. I don't give a fuck. I really don't think they're going to be able to make it illegal. And if they do, like, I hope people fucking riot. Because it's just, like, where the world is right now is fucking insanity. Like, the whole thing's backwards, and it makes me really fucking mad. My name's Eric Pieper. I'm known as the Colorado Kratom King. I own Kratom King Botanical and the Eric Pieper Show. Please check me out. You watch the page here. If you need any kratom, hit me up. Again, I got really good stuff. I usually have red, green, yellow, and white veins on me all the time. Waiting for a shipment right now that cleared customs. You know what I'm saying? They said they were fucking pulling shipments, but I don't buy it. Like, I don't think they were. And I haven't seen proof of it yet, so. Again, you guys got any questions, hit me up. I like talking to people. Anybody's got a story or needs help,